What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Finally got a podcast, episode 8, I believe. And this one, I want to tell you all about some things I'm working on right now and just be upfront about it. That's about it. Yeah. Nothing new, nothing crazy. I was just thinking about, a couple days back about when I did the 14-day experiment. I called it me releasing a track every 14 days. Well, not every 14 days, but every day for 14 days I released a track. So it's 14 new tracks, all within the span of 2 weeks. Literally that. Self-explanatory. And I wanted to do something a little more. I wanted to do the same thing, but kind of up it up. I deciding now to do a 100-day music challenge. And it's more so like not even just beats, but really just me putting out something that involves music, whether it is a beat, a remix, an actual song I've made, something like that for 100 days. It seems very ambitious to do something like that, and I'm willing to take that challenge because I think it'd just be a lot of fun. Plus, I want to have that kind of, motivation, that discipline to, put some out every day, and work on something every day. Because there are times where I'm working on music and sometimes I just stop. But it's kind of cool, to have that deadline, to have that little bit of pressure on you to say, no, you got to keep going. Or, all right, this one doesn't work. All right, you got 100 more beats that you have been sitting on, finish those out, or, write a couple more lyrics and, just do something, put something out every day. And so I find it to be a lot of fun to, have that kind of pressure on you when it comes to music, something like that, because it's something that I really enjoy and something that I wouldn't mind doing. And also, I am giving myself this challenge. No one's challenging me. No one's like, giving me an incentive to do this except for myself and seeing other people doing it. I've seen people like my favorite YouTubers like Chris Poncelon and people like that. They've done 365-day beat challenges, and I was like, I don't want to do it for 365 days, but I'll do 100. And 100 seems a lot too. It's like it's a little bit less than a third of a year, but I'm fine with that. Like I'm cool with doing, just like 100 days. That's just a little over 3 months, and so much can get done. And I realize now, during the time that we're in, I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna be doing online classes, so I got a little more leeway in terms of time. I'm figuring out the schedule, and I'm gonna start the schedule tomorrow. I released the first of them today, one called The Vibes, and I was working on it for a bit, and I'll explain a little bit of it in a second, but first I wanted to say that I'm gonna work on a schedule to how I'm going to make the music, release it, and then make videos surrounding it and stuff like that. And I've realized now, like, I think the best thing for me to do is to also, like, not just like release it, but the next day after the song is released, I'll release a beat breakdown of why I made it and what I did with it. So that way y'all can see my process and get to understand it a little bit more. And yeah, just grow as I grow. Watch me grow. Growth. But just real quick, I'll get into The Vibes, the beat that I made. It's on SoundCloud right now. It's just an instrumental track. I'll explain it. I was on FL Studio. I normally use Ableton now, but I still have FL Studio on here. I just use the demo version because I'm too cheap to buy the producer edition. I was on there and I just made a little melody, and it's just the arpeggio of a chord. I can't remember the key of the chord right now because I don't have it pulled up, but I just did the arpeggio in triplet form, And people who don't understand it, trying to explain this in the best way I can. Say you have a C chord that consists of notes C, E, and G. So if I just do the arpeggiated version of that, I'm just playing the notes C and I play the note E and I play the note G. So literally in the repetitious form, it's just going up and down. So it's really just going, I think, just C, E, G, E, C, C, E, G, E, C. Like it's just going up and down that same scale in the same manner. And then triplet form literally just means, say you have an eighth notes, 2/8 notes make a whole note, right? So you turn those into triplet form. Well, now it's 3/8 notes, and they make one. Can consist of, is this similar to that? I'm not really good at explaining notes in music in that sense, but I'll break it down in the video better, because right now I'm just kind of flowing off the top of my head. I'm not really writing this down, so if anyone's confused right now, ignore it. It has nothing to do with anything I'm saying right now. But I was working on that little melody idea, and I had nothing for it. Literally, like I couldn't think of any chords to go with it. I couldn't think of a good drum pattern to go with it. So I left it alone for a couple days, and then I redid the melody on Ableton, and then I added some drums into it, some chords, and it just sounds a little more bouncier than I had anticipated, to a little bit more chill, more lo-fi. And that's cool with me. I'm perfectly fine with making that kind of music and having it sound like that. It sounds amazing to me, to be honest. And luckily, I just, went along with it. And when I was enjoying it, I was kind of just going with the flow. And I love when I have those moments of just going with the flow. It gives me that energy to just keep going and stuff like that. So this 100-day beat challenge, that's why I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it the most than I've ever enjoyed making music, because I'm always in that moment of just wanting to make music. And when I get into that zone of just free flowing it and just saying, oh, okay, cool, let's add this on there, and I'm not overthinking it, then that's when it becomes fun. Because after I got done with the initial part of the beat, I was like, okay, let's switch it up. Let's change something about this. So towards the end of it, you hear the same melody, but you hear it in a different key. Like, the key changes. Even if you don't know music that well, like those aren't the same notes being played as before. And then the drum pattern is different, and I had some different chords onto it. And so with me, I just wanted to release it, and I was like, I knew this sounded good, and I knew I could use it for something else. So I may or may not use it for Sunday morning coffee, which is, one of the projects I'm working on, and I'm sure it'll be out soon. I'm still working on it. I'm working on it as much as I can, because of the fact that I said I was going to release it, and I'm keeping to my word. I had a release date for it, but those dates had passed, and I realized that then I was just going to be coasting with what I had, and now I realize I want to take my time with it. So I'm pretty sure within this 100-day beat challenge, I'm going to find something that's going to go on that project. I already have about like 4, 5 tracks on there. And not only this, but it's helping me wanting to grow as an artist, as the artist I want to be, someone who can release quality music every day, and it's still not sounding tiring. It doesn't sound stale. It doesn't sound rushed. And someone who's trying to figure out where they're going, taking y'all along the journey with me. Like, y'all may not always be here watching me make the beat, but y'all can watch videos of me making it and just seeing, the fun parts that, I like to edit in there. Like when I showed the video of me making a beat with a kombucha bottle, I knew I wanted to make that video specifically for y'all to enjoy and just see be doing something different. And I've shown y'all my beat breakdowns and how I made some stuff. But, I think it's always interesting to watch an artist do something and you could just see them just looking at a screen and just thinking to themselves, okay, what am I going to add next? Okay, what am I going to do next? Okay, what's the song about? What's the, whose perspective am I speaking on? Am I talking about my own experiences, or am I talking about someone else? Who do I want this to relate to? Is like, do I want this to relate to anyone, or am I just doing it for me? There's so many factors into when people go about making music that sometimes even the simplest things is like, all right, is this just gonna be a radio hit? Some people think like that, and some people think, who am I speaking to for this song? And that's what a lot of people will think about. I don't want to speak for everyone else, but that seems like the consensus. I believe that's the word I'm using. But that seems like the right way that a lot of people think. People want to think that what appeals to other people, and some people think what appeals to them. Because for me personally, like, it'd be hard for me to make a track or make a song for other people that I didn't enjoy. First and foremost, I think if you're an artist, you should make music for you. You should make music that you personally enjoy, and people like it. People will find their way to your own music, in my opinion. Because you can like this, that, and the third. And if you like them and they have a massive following, they definitely have other people that like them too. So if you combine all those people that inspire you and influence you to make something, then you might sound similar to them, and you might have a style similar to them, and you might not be them exactly, but you'll find people that enjoy their music and they'll like your music too, because it gives them the same feeling. And people are always looking for that. Like, people are looking for that feeling. Music hits you in a way that not a lot of stuff hits in a very similar way. There's a saying from Bob Marley, it's from a song, and he said, one good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain. And it's such a good saying, because when you listen to music, you get that feeling. You do get hit by it, but it doesn't hurt. Like, it's always helpful. It's like people always say they want that friend, a helping hand, or something like that. I think music is a very driving force that is a helping hand within people's everyday lives. We use music for so many different things. We use it to work out. We use it to meditate. We use it for just walking. We drive to it. We bike to it. We'll cook to it. We'll dance to it. Sing to it. All this stuff. So many different things that music is incorporated within everyday life that it's just amazing. Like, so I guess it's kind of like a continuation of my last podcast where I was talking about myself. But that's also like a reason why I wanted this 100-day beat challenge, and why I want to continue growing out this YouTube channel and keep growing as an artist, because I want my music to always have that impact, is to be a part of people's everyday lives, whatever it may be, whatever you use it for, as long as you're using it for good and positive things. I will always enjoy having someone saying I'm a fan, that they're a fan of my music. Because I always like, kind of like, also what I do this for, man. I do this because that's what it gave me. It's so much fun listening to music every day. It's always fun listening to new music. It's always fun hearing new people. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me going. Like, if I didn't have that motivation, I wouldn't even be doing music, Like, I wouldn't I wouldn't have done all this work to, get all this stuff, get this machine micro, get this microphone, get this audio interface I'm using. Like, because when you really think about it, when you think about music in the grand scheme of things, especially making it, you realize, wow, like, so much music gets made and never get heard, and so many people are not recognized. Like, to the point that sometimes it can wear some people down and be like, what's the point of making music if you're not going to get recognized soon? It's like, it's the whole point of the process, right? We work hard to get that recognition, and depending on how far you want to go up with that recognition, like, does it really matter? You're doing what you love, you know? Even if, a few thousand people love my stuff or millions and upon millions of people love it, I'm fine. There's always going to be a good core group of people that will always rock with it. And because I believe I come from a very genuine place when it comes to my music. Even though you only hear instrumentally, you're listening to a person who actually put in so much work and effort into this one track. Like, even if it was the most simple beat ever, I gave it my all. I'm very attentive when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't just make a beat just to make a beat. I always, like, even sound selection is like the most important thing. Like, picking the right drums for a song is very important to me. Like, the most difficult part about making music at this moment for me is just finding the right snare. And I don't know many people have ever felt that way, but if you're making music, especially like lo-fi hip-hop or R&B, trap, rap, any kind of music upon that genre, you're not using an actual live drum kit, it is very important, especially to me, if the snare is right, or whatever you're using as a snare, whether you're using hitting a bottle cap, snapping your fingers, a clap, doesn't matter. That sound selection for that beat is now like the most important part of this beat now. Just because you can make a kick sound good. You can give a kick the thump. Just EQ it, take out the high end. Boom. Got a bunch of bass now. It's good, it's golden, it's all right. You can come back to it later. But that snare, that takes a minute. Like, that takes some maneuvering and some mixing if you really want to sound the exact way you want it to sound. Yeah, I think, like, and that's just like the big grand scheme of music, man. Like, when people are working on music, man, they are trying to find the right everything on it. I went on that weird tangent about sound selection. I think just because of like the satisfaction of music, I think it's just the love I have for music is so big that I just focus on the little itty bits parts of it, such as like trying to find the right snare, making sure my kicks hit right, making sure my drums are good, making sure the chords are nice and beautiful and warm, to the point I have now fallen in love with chords. I have now realized that chords are the greatest thing that's ever happened to music. I'm not good at melodies or bass lines. Something I need to work on. It's just, man, a bass line is like a good snare. Once you find the right one, man, that is the one. That is the one. And like a melody, man, those are hard. But I think like when it comes to melody, I think it's kind of like first come, first serve. Just think of the first thing that pops in your head, and I think that one it'll stick. So in conclusion, as we draw to the end of this podcast, I think what I'm trying to say here is the main reason why I'm doing this 100-day challenge. It's because of the motivation that music has given me over the years, that I know I can do it, and I will do it. Whether it's good or not, I don't think this is a thing that's up to me. I think it's just up to the people who decide to listen to it. Hopefully it is you, the person watching or listening to this podcast. You decide to listen to every single piece of music that comes out in the next 100 days. Starting today. And the next 100 videos that will come out soon. But yeah, that was my plan. I want to tell y'all about the 100-day challenge of just releasing music every day for 100 days. And it's just music. I'm not doing a 100-day podcast. That's just overkill. And now, I bid you adieu to next week. It was great talking to y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Stay positive. Peace out. One love. Goodbye.